Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday morning trading room. Hold on a second here. We'll get the screen share going on. Trust you did all right yesterday. It looks like overall it was a fairly quiet day. Market not really moving too much higher or lower for that matter. Looks like the market kind of getting itself in a little bit of a pinch after yesterday's trading, and let me show you what I mean here on the daily chart. Just really quick. It looks like we've got a little bit of a test of the extreme here, even though we've actually made a lower low relative to this one. It does look like the market is trying to bounce a little bit, so we'll see whether they try to get above yesterday's highs or below yesterday's lows. I think that can kind of set the tone for today. Those highs and lows are going to be important levels for the market to try to break above or below. And right now, anyways, it's looking fairly bullish, I would say. Getting a little bit of an early reaction here. There's your first in-sync eagle signal of the day. So the buyers kind of stepping up here early, at least according to the eagle. And it looks like you have a chance for a second push on that signal also. Let's see if I can frame that up. Maybe something like that. And looks like the market would be trying to recover somewhere near the overnight highs on its way to yesterday's highs. And it looks like they slipped me a tick there as well, which is a little odd. This is a little bit of a tricky trade because there isn't a whole lot of structure here. The ideal stops are down here, but I don't really want to, well, I can't afford that much at risk, so I'm taking a little bit of a chance with the tighter stop on this eagle trade, and hopefully we'll get a bit of a bullish break. Before they try to look too far back, that is. They had a good start, but now the seller's trying to knock it down, and it's still very, very early in the day. Normally, I don't like these early trades. They don't suit my trading personality. But we'll see what's going on here. Oh, a little bit of a test of the extreme. I usually like to see the market have a little bit more structure to it before I start to get involved. And we're producing actually a rule of three signal now. So you're going to get the sellers actually pushing the market a little bit lower, so that in this instance, that first in-sync eagle signal not working out this morning. That's rare for that particular signal. Normally, that signal has some pretty strong follow-through. Okay, so now here come the sellers with a quick move lower. And they're putting a lot of pressure on the buyers now. The fact that the market did not want to rally does make me more open to a possible sell today. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon. Here come the buyers again. And what are we? We're still only about 6-7 minutes into the day. So we're establishing a bit of a broad trading range right now. This now back to the high of the morning, the market flinching a little bit. Let's see if we get a number 3 signal. That would be the hard edge bounce. That might be an interesting buying opportunity. Wow, we're all over the map here this morning. Oh, Russell says technically that first signal was at 9:31. See, I think, oh, I see what you're doing, Russell. So Russell actually looked at taking this one, which would have been a rule of 3 signal. And that's fine. Obviously, it worked out. I was always leaning toward the one where the band was stacked in the same direction. Although I guess the band is just turning over. Well, at any rate, I got a little bit of work to do here. Try to get myself back on the right side of the market, and here come the bulls again. This now with just a basic trend change here on the Eagle. Let's see what's going on here on the other tools. We're kind of flip-flopping a little bit. Coming back with lots of volatility again. 3 number 2 signals in a row. Now we're back into the hard edge. Okay, now a number 1 signal. Now, the way the market is right now, I think I'm going to give it a wide berth on the entry, like a really wide berth. It's going to look a little odd. It's just the added volatility in the marketplace. A little reluctant to get in too tight here. A failure around these highs, around the 65.15 zone, is probably going to see the market unwind to the downside again. That's what I'm looking to avoid. All right, let's put that away for now. We got ourselves a very conflicted market. No trend this morning. All right, and now the seller's coming back, flipping the eagle band back and forth. So we've actually got multiple trends going here this morning. Looks like we are going to try to move the market a little bit lower. And we've got a sell signal here now on the eagle, and you could try to do a second push on this one. And that would essentially be looking for the market to recover back toward the lows. Okay, back into the hard edge, where we're going to anticipate some sort of reaction. The Raptor now coming with some follow-up signals. So you got the exact same thing happening here on the Raptor as we do on the Eagle. So you could look to, again, I would do a second push. I would look to enter below these lows. And it's more based on the recent volatility of the marketplace. Okay, a little bit of a sideways zone. And here come the buyers once more as we try to establish a trend. Gonna cancel that order before I forget about it on the Eagle. Oh, and here they come again. Should have just left it there. The market very, very sideways right now. And we're kind of trading in the middle of the range, which is making things difficult all the way around. See, and if you'd like to influence the market, all you have to do is place a sell order, and that will automatically make the market rally higher. Placing a buy order would do the opposite. And for those of you who don't know whether or not I'm kidding, I'm kidding. Scott says he's got that control too. Yes, it's my superhero power. They haven't made a comic book about me yet, but there you go. Looks like there might be some trend line support building here. But the buyer's very, very weak on the follow through, which is kind of teeing them up for a short. Oh, did I not submit my order? Oh, yes, I did. Okay. Wow. Really, really sticky around this 64.90 area. Okay, well, let's see if we get the follow through or not. Here on the Raptor, again, same thing. We've got the sideways trading range. We've got the number 1 signal, the hard edge bounce, the number 3 signal. And I'd be looking for the market to pick up some sort of momentum below these lows. These last swings through here around the 64.89, 64.90 area, fairly influential, I think. Yeah, Scott says, can you wake up the late filter entry signals? They're sleeping in. All right, let me summon my superhero powers, and I will get those late filter entry signals for you in just a moment. A lot of yellow bars. The Falcon filter breaking up quite a bit. All of this very indicative of a sideways market. And look at that. Ooh, a nasty pullback. Well, that's annoying. There's two signals that should have worked that did not. I may have to really step back here and wait them out. That's the problem with the sideways market, is you get caught up because you want to trade and the market doesn't want to go anywhere. The market has different ideas. That's okay. I can wait. You know, funny thing is, I think we were right to sell, but we just couldn't, or I couldn't, hang on long enough. Well, they're still churning. Still seeing a lot of back and forth. We've got some really broad ranges going right now. Okay, here we go, back up around that 65.10 area. That's where they got knocked down before. And we're kind of setting ourselves up for a half-decent sideways trading range right now. I'm not going to commit to the buy above 65.10 just yet, but that is a place to buy. The bottom end, we're pretty much waiting until the market gets back down here around the 64.90, 64.89 zone. So a really, really broad range if you wanted to try to bracket it. So you would buy above here. And I'm using the OCO order, by the way. So I turned the OCO on. You right-click on your chart to enter your order. Now these orders are live the moment you put them on your chart, so you can pull them in if you'd like them a little bit tighter. I think I might leave them something like that. So essentially a really, really big sideways trading range. Okay, they're now the #1 signal. If you wanted to try to get in early on this short, it's looking like the seller's going to try to press the market down. Now remember, I told you this order was live. I can pull it in if I would like it to be a little bit tighter. And once again, I can maybe roll it up a couple of ticks. Yeah, Scott says it doesn't want to get away. Pardon me, doesn't want to get too far away from 6,500. It's those whole numbers. Markets do tend to gravitate toward those, don't they? Oh, all right, let's get my buy order back, and I'm going to pull my stop here a little bit because I don't want it too cozy. Come on, keep going. Keep going. Oh, you scoundrels. All right, give me that buy order again. Okay, so essentially I was looking for a bit of a hard edge bounce there because I still think I had the right idea on this trade, but I got tagged prematurely on that little hiccup. So I'm just trying to get back into the market. Oh, oh, you guys, you're killing me here. All right, let's buy it in again. I actually wanted in right here, but I was a little bit slow. Oh, I'll make the broker really happy today. Way to go. Mark says he capitalized on a first micro macro cross. Take a look at that one in a moment. Oh, really? Are the sellers going to try to knock the market down here again? This kind of day just requires crazy stops. Like, honestly, the proper stop for this trade, believe it or not, is way down here. Below this big swing low. This is the proper stop. That's the kind of stop you need to try to hang in on today's volatility. If they get down, where was my stop? I think it was 06. So if they hit 06, they're going to tag me out. It's always a balancing act when you're trading. Trying to keep a reasonable stop without putting too much at risk, right? It's the Oh, and by the way, you shouldn't do this at home. Oh, they're brutal. The sellers are going to come back here in a moment and try to knock this market back down. The buyers, I can tell, in case you're thinking I'm looking at something funky, I'm not, but I can tell the buyers are not following through, right? We saw a little bullish action here, a little bullish action here. They're not following through. See, they're trying to go up. They get up a few bars, and then the sellers show up again. So that just tells me there's a lot of selling pressure going on here right now. The reason I run big stops to start, it doesn't make a lot of sense to a lot of people, but I don't want to get stopped out prematurely. That's my objective. This is my parachute, my safety net. But if I don't fall off the high wire, I don't need the safety net. But it's good to know it's there all the same. No, come on. That may have been the bull run right here. That may have been the bull run right there for the day. No, we got some stop hunting going on now. just the sideways thrashing. No, no love from the market today. Well, am I going to luck out here? The market not very fond of this 65.20 area where they got knocked down before. No, no luck. Let's see here. Mark says there was a late filter entry, but no follow through. Yeah, it might have been this one right here. Headed down a little bit. Oh, this one. It's when the filter goes out of sync, comes back into sync, the trend line never changes color. This on your Falcon swing trader. We got ourselves a real sideways grind going on here. I honestly don't expect to ride this one out, but I'm not going to adjust my stops anymore. Certainly not going to take them any lower. Got to get above this 65.20 zone. If we get above 65.20, my trade actually has a half decent chance. Oops. And there. Stumbling a little bit again. Come on. They're trying hard, but oh my goodness. And here we are at 65.20, backing off again. except for a couple little runs higher and lower, it's been a fairly uneventful morning overall. The market really not going anywhere. Take a look at that daily chart again. You can see this is today's session right here. Really, really tiny little doji style bar. Like I said, except for a couple of runs up and a couple of moves lower, there hasn't been much to speak of. Mark says he took a trade to the long side. Let's see, did we get I guess maybe this trend change signal? Kind of working the trade a bit. Giving it a chance to do its thing. All right, well, got the first profit target. Hooray. Oh, don't flinch again. Come on, get going. Give me one swing here this morning. Come on, get up there. There we go. All right. Might be getting a little traction now. Don't want to jinx myself. Looks like the ATR stop may not be doing too badly here this morning. Maybe I'll use the ATR instead of the more aggressive parabolic. Got a couple of stinkers here to try to offset. Yeah, thanks, Scott. Scott says I stepped away from the screen for a moment. Glad it helped move the market higher for you. Come on. You can do it. Mark says I've really been out of my comfort zone with the large stops that I've had to run just to get my profits, but that's trading, adjusting to the conditions, and that's so true. You may have to reduce your exposure to try to maintain a larger stop, but again, a stop isn't a loss unless it gets hit. Come on. It's not like we're even near yesterday's highs. Yesterday's highs, the market topping out around 65.50 somewhere. Hold on. Here we go. Here's the daily again. So yesterday's highs at 65.67. So we got some room to move here if they get some traction. Julian says she's got her target at 66.34 or 34.5 to be precise. $65.50 is going to be a bit of a hurdle if we can get up there. As much time as the market spent sitting at 6,500, you just know it's going to feel a pinch when it gets to 65.50. Are they going to hit the ATR? And they are. Okay. That's all right. That was a good little trade. I'll take it. And that pretty much got me back to even on the day, so can't be too upset about that. That's a pretty drawn out trade, though. And here come the sellers trying to push them against that rally again. Yeah, just kind of watching and waiting. Not really keen on shorting right now, but we might see. The sellers trying to knock the market back down. Not that there's been huge gains here this morning. All right, well, not much to say, not much to do right now. Still in a slightly bullish sideways type market. We're only an hour into the day, but it sure seems longer than that, doesn't it? Yeah, good call, Scott. Scott says we got a rule of 3 here on the Eagle that he took. He says almost to the target. So there's the rule of 3 signal. And we're almost there. I'd probably start squeezing the trade. I'd probably throw my stop in above the high of this bar. So you at least get to take $100 out of the trade. Yeah, I'm getting a few comments here about what a tough day today is trading wise, and it most certainly is. Not too much we can do with it, but wait it out a little bit. I think we're going to see another bullish push here. I think, things tend to happen in pairs in the market. So we had the one leg up. I think the market may try to give us another push higher. Getting a couple of rally attempts now. Here's an early one, a first micro macro cross on the hawk. So the signal actually printed down here, but you do have a 4-arrow consolidation type if you wanted to try to get in on the next rally up. And it's almost certain you'll hit your scalp target. That's almost a given. I think we had a trend change. Yes, we have a trend change here on the Falcon. We're also into the hard edge of the trading band, which probably accounts for some of this reaction that we're seeing. Oh, there they go. They're fading the signal, so we'll leave that alone for now. Doesn't look like they're quite ready to commit yet. Familiar numbers, 65.20, of course, 65.10. Got ourselves another tight little trading range. back to the 65.20-ish area where the market got knocked down the time before. Let's see if it happens again. Oh, not so far. Decent follow through. And now they're faltering again a little bit. So we could see a little bit now that the buyers have tried to rally the market up. We're either going to get a number one signal develop here, in which case it will be a buying opportunity above the high, or we're going to get a number two signal, which may actually be the larger with trend signal. Technically, it's counter trend, but it may actually be, in the broader scheme of things, a with trend signal. So the market in a little bit of a tight spot here at the moment. We'll see how it shapes up. I wouldn't mind a number two signal here. I could see the market get back here to the 65.10 area, maybe even a little bit lower. All right, so they're now the number one signal. I would probably delay my entry until the highs or a second push. Because this may turn out to be a test of the extreme. This swing here being lower than this one here could be a failure swing, which is why I would enter above the high or above a second push. Or if we come back now with the number two signal to short, I could be persuaded to try that one. So far, the buyer's holding strong, though. All right, so they're now the number two signal. I'm just going to short it manually. It didn't print as a number two, and probably because the bars there may be a few too many bars here for the signal, but it is a number two signal all the same. And looks like I actually got a little positive slippage on my entry, which is good. I'd be looking for a move back here now to 65.10. That would be my objective, I think. Okay, got the first target. And I've got my parabolics ready. By the way, if we get below 65.10, we got a little bit of room to move. 6,400 not out of the question. Certainly 6,500 would almost be a gimme. You guys. Scott's asking, on the second push, do you wait for a second hash mark? No. What I do with the second push entry is I allow the signal to engage. So here is the number 3 signal, right? How do I know this is not going to get hung up on these highs? Well, I don't. But if I allow the signal to engage and I let the market react, now I can see, okay, there's my number 3 signal. Now I'd be safe for entering there, even though the market is already, had I entered on the hash mark, I would already be at my break even and I would have been tagged at break even. But by entering above the reaction zone, I refer to that as a second push entry because it's going to need a second push to get me into this trade, to get me long, right? So the idea is that you're only entering the market if there is some renewed momentum in the marketplace to bring you in. Otherwise, you stay out of the market. It's a great tool when the market tends to be more volatile, as it has been this last week or so, or I guess going on a couple of weeks now. There is still the possibility of a false breakout, which of course is always a concern. But overall, it tends to work pretty well. Oh, man, how many times have they done that to me today? Trying to squeak a runner in and they just won't give it to me. It's not fair, I tell you. Excuse me. All right, we'll put that back on the shelf. Okay, a little bit of a bearish pushback off of the highs of the day, or near the highs of the day, 65.40. I thought they might have got us to 65.50 before they flinched, but nope, not yet. All right, another soft edge sell forming on the Raptor, the hawk into yellow bars again. The Falcon trying to change the trend line color here a little bit. Let's get the Eagles view of what's going on here. Yeah, this may well be a double top. Short-term little double top, maybe a quick little move lower. That's how we got the number 2 signal. Here's the retest of the high. Target is the hard edge of the trading band. Obviously I didn't take the trade. It would be set up something like that. Lots and lots of back and forth. Well, I was griping there wasn't enough volatility in the market, so it's like they say, be careful what you wish for. All right, here, we'll clear that for now. It's not going anywhere. Well, the market's starting to grind sideways again. Which I guess is typical for this type of day. What surprises me, though, is the tiny little range that we have established today. All that volatility, and this is what we're looking at range-wise. I honestly thought we were going to see a little bit of a bearish push here toward the lows. I thought 6,400 would be within the market's grasp today, but maybe not. The buyer's definitely making a line in the sand. You can see by these long tails on these bars, the market not really happy about getting too far below 6,300. There were several reactions around that zone. So there's a fair amount of bullishness in the market too, which again would account for all the volatility that we're seeing here today. the buyers and sellers trying to figure out who ultimately is going to have control of the market. Well, we got a few minutes here before we close things up for the morning session. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, we might call it a day. If you're going to be trading this afternoon, well, it does look like we have a little bit of a bullish bent on the day. So you may be better off looking at buying opportunities versus selling opportunities. And I think you're going to be better going all in, all out on target. I've tried to run out a few trades here this morning, and they have been reluctant to follow through. I could have made myself a couple extra $100 had I just gone all in, all out. All right, gang. I will see you again tomorrow. I'll talk to you then. Bye for now.